Hello everybody, my name is Dawn Campbell. I'm the director at the IAPC&M. And for anybody who's been watching the promo material that we've been putting out, you'll know we've written our first book. And today I'm joined by the co-authors, with the exception of Ruby Maguire, who's with us in spirit. So we have Maria, we have Monique, Anna, Lorna, Adele and Ali. And James Bond there in the top, as I like to call him, with the top of his voice, he is going to be interviewing you because he's really super keen to grill some of you about your chapters. But firstly, we're just going to have a very quick round robin and just say, you know, what's in it for the reader, why they should read your chapter after meeting you today. So first up, Adele.
Hi. So my chapter has got 3 key ingredients. It's about being authentic, having a clear set of values, winning trust, and that helps you win clients and keep them for life. I will share with you some snippets of some really awful renditions of my website from the beginning and how I learnt about language and how that could really shape and be more engaging for potential clients, and how just changing the wording actually made a huge difference and transformed my client list and my work portfolio. So you really need to get yourself in there, have a good read, because honestly, it will transform your business.
Especially if you take the actions in the workbook.
Yes.
Okay. Lorna, over to you in sunny Jamaica.
Hi, everyone. So I wrote my chapter from a spiritual perspective. I've been practicing spirituality for maybe about 30 years or so. A little bit shorter time than I've been a coach, and I've learned a lot from that. I'm also a lawyer, I should tell you. So as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a mentor, and practicing in spirituality, I felt I had a lot to share. So the 3 things I think I'd want to say that readers will get from my work is, 1, what is my spiritual purpose? I think I've tried to share how people can really get to understand what their spiritual purpose is, because when you know that, that's when you can be truly authentic. The other thing I think I've shared is how powerful our thoughts are. I think we don't realize just how much our thoughts shape our lives and our reality. So getting to understand that and the tools to bring your thoughts into alignment will really help you to be successful. And I think finally, just an appreciation that mastering the spiritual principles is what really can bring you success and peace and genuine prosperity. So those are the 3 things I think someone will get from reading my chapter.
Thank you, Lorna. Possibly another definition of success, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so over to Ali in Scotland.
Thanks, Dawn. Yes, so before I trained as a coach, I was a professional acrobat and spent 15 years working all over the world doing all manner of circus acrobatics. The reason that's relevant is I champion what I call life by design, which is really the ability to take ideas, turn them into action and live life on your terms. And so my chapter is all about how to win the mind game, because it's my belief, my focus, that if you get this right, everything else then falls into place. As a business owner, that's obviously super important because there are so many challenges that we all face. So I talk about how to win the mind game. I talk about the motivation myth, which is how to get and stay motivated. How to deal with fear, failure and rejection, which is something that we're all going to face as business owners, but how to not take that personally and keep moving forward. And really just how to develop that attitude that allows you to take consistent action, which is basically being effective at building your business. So I get a little bit fired up, a little bit passionate, and talk about how to win the mind game. So that's what people can expect in my chapter.
Great, thank you very much. So Italian Anna, living in London.
All right, this is Anna. My chapter is very much about looking at the emotional element of, running the business or be an entrepreneur. And I concentrate on ensuring that we are informed by the past and not being limited by it. So it's a way of understanding what perhaps could be our limiting beliefs and really the dangers of self-sabotage. So it's a way of being truthful to yourself and becoming aware of the emotional element that can impact the dynamics of being an entrepreneur and running your own business. So I concentrate on the emotional part of the business.
Okay, lovely, thank you. And over to Maria. So we're lucky to have her because normally she's she's a bit of a snow baby. So she's normally in the sort of, where would you say, the Netherlands?
Just south of the Arctic Circle.
Arctic Circle, yeah. So she's a happiness coach, and I'd like you to just quickly describe your chapter, please, Maria.
Yeah, absolutely. So my chapter is about building business through heartfelt connections and relationships. And many solopreneurs, when starting out, you know, they've got the best website, they've got the best business card, but those things will not bring clients. But what has worked for me, and this is a proven strategy, and in my chapter, I introduced the solopreneur success model, which I call the PAVE model. And this is about being passionate, it's about being attentive, being vocal, and being exceptional. And those are the 4 key elements that I built my business with. And I went from like 0 clients to having a waiting list of clients. And I truly believe that this is the key secret to a good business, to winning and keeping clients. It's about looking for and being attentive every single day, looking for an opportunity to connect with people with your heart. And when you do that, clients will come. They will come and you'll have a busy practice, a busy business. So yeah, my chapter is about heartfelt connections and relationships as a strong foundation to win and keep clients.
Lovely, thank you. And as the book is called How to Win Clients and Keep Them, we know it's 10 times more expensive to find new clients than it is to keep them. So why not keep your existing clients, who are your fans, happy? Ruby, who can't make this call today, is a visibility coach, and her chapter is all about that all-important niche and branding and making yourself visible using the social networks out there. So last but not least, the lovely Monique in the States.
Hi, I'm an executive coach, and my chapter is about time management and how to save yourself 2 hours a day. I cover 3 key points: how to set goals, prioritize them, and then time block them into your calendar. So it's a must read if you want to take control of your time.
Thank you. So I'm going to hand you over now to Henry Johnstone, who is a great coach and a great interviewer. And talking to him, he said, I'd love to know more about your book. And I said, well, come and meet us. It's a while since we were all together on the couch, as it were, as a team. So I'm sure he's got some questions he wants to ask you that will even more bring your book and the reason why you got involved to life. So over to you, Henry, please.
Hi guys, it's absolutely fabulous to meet you all. I've heard a lot about you, and I think it's great when a coach asks coaches questions. Getting the good stuff. So what I'd really like to know is, like, what is it like for you guys to be back together again? Because reading about or hearing about all your chapters, your different specializations, you know, it covers a wide area. So you're all coming at it from different angles. What's it like to be together again with your combined energy?
Well, if I can sort of answer, I found when we first met, actually, we had everyone just really gelled and got on. I think it was, we were all sort of, like you say, we were coming from different angles. But we were all just becoming more, as we were listening to everybody's ideas for the chapters, just becoming more and more excited. And I think we all started to realise this book's going to be fantastic. And then we all went through the process of writing our chapters and sharing it with each other.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and so we all became editors of each other's chapters and making sure that you know, that we were not duplicating, and so that the reader will get a really good experience from beginning to end. And to now be in this process where the chapters are complete, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I'm so excited because I think that what we'll be able to deliver for solopreneurs going forward is it's all of those things that, you know, when you start out, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make a business? And I think if anybody is starting a business and they read this book from beginning to end, they will find that their business will soar straight away from beginning.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of power here as well. I always feel a lot of power talking to you guys, and I actually felt that reading through the book, you know, it just felt so powerful. And yeah, and actually being back with you, it just feels like there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of power, and I know how powerful this book is going to be for the readers. Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, we kind of think of it as a handbook, Henry. We kind of think of it as a handbook for business solopreneurs, but the lessons transcend any business. Yeah. And I know that some things that Ali and Lorna, which you'll hopefully add to, you wanted it to have a very futuristic,
futuristic?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
the spiritual consciousness of the new way of doing business and new definitions of success. I'll let Ali and Lorna explain more.
Yeah, please, ladies, tell us.
Well, for me, I mean, you've heard about the consciousness movement, which is a growing movement comprised of businesses, lawyers, all sorts of groups of people are coming together now in various ways, looking at the spiritual side of our reality and wanting to embrace it in an integral way into our everyday lives. So you may have heard about the conscious capitalism movement. I think the chairman of it is John Mackay. He's the chairman of Whole Foods.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole growing movement by itself. Looking at how to run a business in a way that honors our spirituality. And so I mean, as Dawn says, it's really a growing area, and people are not seeing now the conflict between making money and being successful. They're seeing it as a holistic and integral way, not cookie or crazy, but real and tangible and very doable because people are doing it. So it's what I wanted to bring forward, I think, in my chapter. Actually, I didn't initially, because when we first had our conversation, I was leaning very much on mindset. And then when I heard Ali speaking and some of the others speaking, I realized that maybe I could approach this a little differently. So, you know, as a practitioner, it just seemed logical to go at it from that end. So I think it's amazing. And when people step into that world, they'll realize just how powerful it is.
I mean, I hear you saying lots of words like stepping in, power, force of movement. What it sounds like is that you guys begun a journey. Perhaps you were in different places, but something changed for you when you realized that you were doing something that was more powerful than you had initially thought it was. Is that correct?
Absolutely, certainly. Yes. I mean, there's such power in teamwork and really listening to, understanding, and really getting where people are coming from, so that you can add your voice, your own authentic voice, in a real way. It's been a wonderful experience, and I thank all of you guys.
I think
I'd like
for me, what I sort of took from that was, you know, I think probably everyone came into this and thought, what am I going to write about? And, you know, you're kind of worried that you're going to overlap or duplicate. Am I going to write well enough or as good as everyone? And what this actually gave me was a couple of things, but the most powerful things was giving myself permission to trust myself that I know this on a really deep level, and that although I have a very different approach to some people, that's no less valid than anyone else's, because we've all come in at such different angles, and everyone's angle is equally valuable, equally worth learning about. And it's really given me that sort of confidence to say, okay, this is where I sit in the land of coaching and consulting and all that stuff. I don't need to be all things to all people. I just need to be true to what I'm doing and stick to what my key skills are, my own experience, and give the very best based on that, rather than trying to replicate and duplicate what other people are doing, which is actually, for a lot of new business owners, that's what they do. They come in and they think, okay, well, I'll copy other people because that's what I should be doing. Yeah. And they actually shy away from so many of their key skills and natural assets that I think that's probably something that we would all want to give people, is stick to what you're amazingly good at and go with your instincts and be you, whatever the definition of that is, rather than trying to fulfill another vision of success or success on other people's terms.
What I'm hearing, like, from what you said, Ali, there was you allowed yourself to get into a space with other coaches, you know, your peers, but yet you allowed yourself to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I think so. I think I try and have a certain level of honesty with myself, and I think anyone that sort of reads my chapter, or, you know, I'm pretty direct about stuff. I try not to sugarcoat stuff, but yeah, you know, I've not been coaching for a million years. I've come into over the last few years from a completely different career, and, you know, sitting in front of people that are very experienced or got more sort of traditional business experience or a bigger client base. I sort of had to ask myself, oh, am I going to be good enough, and that sort of thing. And the only way that I was going to write a chapter that was valuable to other people and was actually useful is if I gave myself that permission to just go at it 100% rather than holding myself back. Yeah, again, that's, I think, something that I think we would all want, to give other people the permission to do, to just go at it rather than having that self-doubt or the fear that holds us back.
That's a massive gift to give someone as well. And Anna and Monique, how do you feel about that?
I just agree entirely with what has been said, and I concentrated on also the transition between being an employee and become a solopreneur, because of course there are different skills and different things that are needed, and a different, you know, change the mindset. So as an experience has been amazing, because it's really, as we say, we come from different angles, but we all want produce the best, and really they will have the variety of the experiences. So the feedback we had from each other on the writing the chapter, that perhaps for me was the biggest, because I tend to work on my own, so to work as a team. So it has been an amazing experience.
I agree with Anna. There is a lot of synergy with our group. From the time we first met and got together on the first call up until now. And again, like Anna said, with feedback going back and forth, everything was very helpful. I was in a very different place in the beginning than I was with my final chapter. So the ideas, the brainstorming, all really helped us develop, I think, as writers. My chapter comes at things from a practical standpoint, where I rounded out talking about goals and prioritizing those goals, and then time blocking them into the calendar. And in the end, this stayed 2 hours a day for people. So that adds up 60 hours over the course of a month. And these are strategies that I've used with my executive clients, and they're very valuable for people starting their own businesses, because solopreneurs are very busy, easily overwhelmed, and sometimes you work on the wrong things at the wrong time, or you don't find time to do certain things, and you lose clients that way. So by prioritizing and blocking out your time, you're making sure to work on what you need to work on, and that extra time saved every month can go toward clients, toward family, toward a vacation. 60 hours a month that's saved. So, you know, who doesn't want a vacation every month? But yeah, I think it's been great to work with the group. Very high energy, and I'm extremely excited to see the final product.
I mean, what the impression I get from seeing all you guys, you know, see all your beautiful, fabulous faces, and you're all smiling, and you're actually right. The energy is high. The rapport. I mean, if you didn't have rapport, I'd be very surprised for a group of coaches to come together and miss that point. But I think that speaks to just how talented and how much you bring to the book. I haven't read the book, but I get this feeling that, you know, when someone holds it, they're holding something that's come from a place of love. Is that something that resonates with you guys?
Absolutely, because I think, you know, we've all been in that position where you make a decision that, you know, you want to be your own boss. And quite often it's because you want to have a better work-life balance. You want to, I call it about smashing through glass ceilings. You don't want to be held back, and you want to achieve whatever is possible. And I think, you know, sometimes it can be very lonely, and you're trying to sift through all this advice, all these webinars, all these money-making schemes that are all over the internet about, you know, if you pay me X amount of money, I will give you six-figure, you know, businesses. And it just kind of feels sometimes it's very difficult to know when you're starting out, what do I invest in? What's a good investment to help me make my business the best success it can be. And what this book is got is it's all of us coming together, sharing our experiences of what's worked, what's not worked. You know, there's a bit where I say, you know, I've attended loads of these webinars, and let me just take a year out of your development I'll just tell you what was helpful. I'm going to save you a year by buying this book. So, you know, it was things that, you know, it's coming from a place of, we want everybody to be successful. We want everybody to be able to have, I think, like Ali was saying, like your life by design. You want to be able to design your life and have a profitable, good life. And, you know, and we want that for everybody, because, you know, what coach doesn't want their clients to have optimum performance in their business?
A very hard coach.
Yeah. So that's what we want. We want for everybody to read this. I would love more than anything if that further down the line people were going, that book transformed things for me. I've got a much better quality of life because I'm my own boss. I've got loads of clients, and I'm living the life that I want. And that to me would be, I'd be saying, yeah, we've done what we set out to achieve.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I've been thinking about that as well. And I mean, I've run 3 businesses now, all from scratch, and I built them all from scratch. And it took me a long time to run, you know, to get the first 2 going. And by the time I'd done the first 2, I'd learned enough to sort of start the third one as a coach, you know. And a lot of the skills and the knowledge that I've learned, I applied to my 3rd business. But I was thinking the other day, what if everybody had this book as soon as they started out in business? How powerful would that be? And like you were saying, you know, it could save years of people's time trying to figure it all out themselves. You know, and we often do that. We, like you say, we try to go to the right webinars, we look for the right people, we try to sift through all of this stuff. And it's really, really difficult. But actually, everything you need is packed into this book. It is a book of power. And I look back and, you know, I wonder what difference it would have made to my businesses in the early days had I have had this book. And I think it would have been quite incredible. And so, you know, I strongly recommend that anybody starting out in business buy this book, because it is very, very powerful indeed. And it comes from so many different angles. And I think it's going to be, yeah, a real good investment for anybody.
Maria, I have to agree with that, because when I started my business, there was so much to do. I was so overwhelmed, and there's reading material all over the place. You can get information online. But I think this book captures everything within the front and back cover. You know, there's all different aspects from all 7 of us that have different backgrounds, yet we've come together and we've brought everything together from our perspective. And it is truly a handbook to help people that are starting out, and so that you're not as overwhelmed. I know if I had had something like that in the beginning, it would have shaved a lot of time off of all the effort I put in. So well said, Maria.
Thank you.
And I'm involved in training, because I run a law firm, and I have 2 junior lawyers, and we're looking at taking on another one. This is going to be an essential in their reading list, because I think that, notwithstanding it's, you know, it's not directed for lawyers, a lot of the information and the skills and the knowledge that's contained in the book is going to be essential for them starting out their careers. So I agree. I mean, it really is a must read for anyone starting out, almost in anything, frankly, not just business, but any endeavor in life, because many of the skills are just so transferable and applicable to generally building a successful life.
Coming back to your sort of question, Henry, about the book being written by love, which it absolutely was. And that doesn't mean that it was just written philosophically with some sort of nice sentiments in it. The book is, like everyone's already says, these are completely transferable skills. And everyone must have hated me when I was editing the chapter, because I would read it, and the single question I would ask myself as I read every sentence was, what can I then do with this information? Yeah. Because I am so practical. I'm actually a deep philosophical, really spiritual person, but I'm also obsessed with results. And so if I read something and I then don't know what to go and do as a result, the book's failing me in some way. Yeah. Yeah. And so every time I've edited someone's chapter, and I'm going to apologize to everyone now, I would say, that's a great idea, that's a great concept, but how do I action that? What do I then go and do with that? And I think we all went away, and myself included, but we all went away and worked really hard at saying, okay, it's not just enough to give somebody ideas and information. We have to do so in a way that allows someone to know exactly what action is required after reading that. So the volume of information is huge, but the clarity of action that you're then given is brilliant, because this book's great in that sense, because everybody that's into books, and books are a big thing in our industry and personal development, and people always say to you, you know, what's the best book you've read, or what's the book you're reading now, what's the next book you're going to read? And as I said, my final sentence is, it's not about what the best book is, it's about the one you can do the most with. And for me, that was the essence of my chapter, and I think that crosses over into other people's chapters as well. So yes, it was written with love and so much intention behind it, but also with an obsessive attention to detail about the practicality and action thereafter.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Anna's been a little bit quiet over there, so I'm going to ask her a question. Anna, so based on what everyone said, it sounds like there's a baseline for love, and also, as Ali touched on, as service and value. And Anna, what kind of is service and value, and what you've done, really important to the coaching environment as it is now?
It's really very important, because ultimately we want to make sure that we have the best life possible, and to have balance in life, and being able to be grounded at the same time, and being able to really take action, because at the end of the day, what matters is taking action. So we provide the ideas and really points to act on. And really have the best life ever. I mean, I have had the opportunity of really doing what I love, and it's been amazing. And so why not for all of us, so that people can be fulfilled and do the best they can be at whatever business they choose to run. So follow their passion, being able to really have the opportunity to truly be and do what is the most important thing to us, what is most important.
That's beautiful. I love that you guys touched upon when you first start out in your business. I mean, my God, I was terrified. It was like treading on needles every single day. And there is so much noise around what to do, but everyone is upselling their work. Everyone is like, do this, but they're not given that value so that you buy from them. And what I hear about what you've done is just turn that on its head of like, we are not upselling everything. We're giving techniques that we learn on our journey so that you can use them, because we don't want you to suffer anymore.
Yeah.
That sound about right?
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely a book of strategies.
What was that, Dawn?
I said it's definitely a book of strategies.
No, that's amazing. So you guys, you've all worked together. You've worked really closely with each other. You let each other edit chapters. Wow. I'd be terrified. I'd be like, oh my God, what are they going to say? That's
not just once, several times.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that's amazing teamwork. You can almost write a chapter on that in itself. So moving forward, you've created this incredible bond. You've created this incredible book. You're coming from the best place. You're coming from the pinnacle of what is potentially what coaching could be all about in a loving, more compassionate world. So what is next for you guys?
I have to say, for me, I'm in the midst of developing a lot of curriculum for some courses. We just launched our flagship program called Executive Influence, and now we're building 2 other courses on top of that, which will be higher levels for those who are in the course. So that development, I'll be working probably the next 12 months on the next 2 phases of that course.
Amazing. Who else? What's in the pipeline for you guys?
Okay, well, I'm super excited because I am taking a group of people to just south of the Arctic Circle next January. So I'm in the stages of promoting that at the moment, which is super exciting. So
oh my God, I want to come.
Yeah, it's called Fire and Ice. So basically the temperatures can go up to about -40, generally about -20. and there'll be a lot of sort of like bushcraft skills, cross-country skiing, but also I'll be delivering the personal development program around that. So that I'm super excited about that. And I'm also writing another new book. So it'll be my second own book I'm writing. So second own book, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's awesome.
So super exciting things going on. Yeah.
Who else is going to stand up and tell me how amazing they are?
Yeah. What I'm committed to is really increasing the level of activity, perhaps concentrating on people who are transitioning from being employed to being solopreneurs. And one of the programs I want to offer is called the Possibility Group. Really, I have five to seven people together, and we really create a possibility, what is possible for the future, and being able to use that as a reference point, and then whatever we do based on that, and take the necessary actions to really fulfill on that possibility that they've created.
Oh, I love your eyes, Anna. Your eyes communicate so much excitement and happiness.
I am excited. And of course, as an Italian, you know, the passion and the excitement.
No, it really comes through. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you then. Who's next? Who's up?
So I run a mentoring organization. Actually, it's a mentoring organization for men who mentor boys at risk. And we started the organization from inception about seven years ago. So we are in the process of developing another course. So Dawn, you'll hear about that just now. And also we're looking at going into an organization to train. It's actually a teaching institution to train as many of their teachers as we can how to become professional mentors. And that's a huge project for us. For that, I'm planning to write a book, or a series of books actually, partly to accompany that whole program and that whole venture, and also to set mentoring in some sort of context, because I think it's very there's very little understanding about what mentoring is. It's behind coaching, I think, in terms of what comprehension is, and so I really want to bring some elucidation and clarity to that whole thing. And of course, preparing my law firm and continuing to do what we do and thoroughly enjoy. So I'm very busy.
You know what? As soon as you mentioned law firm, I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's super busy. Whew. Crikey. But you also mentioned boys at risk and men at risk. So well done. That is an area very close to my heart, and I respect that massively.
Yeah, thank you. It brings a lot of joy, and it provides nice balance between the two types of work, I must tell you.
Yeah, amazing. Who else wants to tell me how amazing they are?
Well, now I've got the bug for writing. Once this is all up and running, I'm going to venture into my first solo writing venture. I've had an itch to write a book for a long time, and this has been the perfect transition into being an author, because I've had the support of the whole group and Dawn in the organisation. So once that book's up, I'm going to do my own book, working title, but it'll change, just going to be the Happiness Handbook. And it's going to be key principles that I believe, based on my own personal philosophy, my coaching experience, and my own kind of personal journey through life and some trauma and mental health and all those sorts of things, to teach people actual practical skills for how they can be happier and more fulfilled on an ongoing basis. I'm also involved in a health and wellness centre that I co-own, and we have an integrated approach to health and well-being. So we are a nutritional therapist, a sports therapist, and myself as a coach. And I'm about to develop a programme and launch that, where we give people the best in mindset, nutrition and exercise, condensed into an email on the app every day. And because we really take like a combined approach to health and well-being, so that's our 3 pillars of wellness, and making it really easy, really practical for people to look after themselves and invest in themselves, kind of wellness made easy, really. So we're going to kind of get into that market and just try and help make the world a happier, healthier place.
Yay! That's what we want. Adele. Where's Adele?
Adele said that she had to drop out because she was waiting for a client, but she's head of professional standards at the IAPC&M, and she works in the NHS, and she has her own coaching practice. helping women in particular smash through glass ceilings. So again, another super busy, ambitious lady, and she's a young mum as well of 2 small children, 2 daughters. And Ruby, of course, who isn't on the call today, she's launched her own charity,
Wow.
helping homeless people, and she's writing her second solo book. So there's a mixture of authors amongst the group already. So yeah, everybody's got their thing, and of course we have the accompanying workbook to work on, and that will be coming out at the end of May. So Ali and I are sort of owning that as a project. So when we keep talking about the self-development lessons, and you know, when you, Ali, Henry, and your team of coaches at the health organisation where you work at, you give them a book on their first day of joining, they'll also get a workbook as well, because you've got to do the exercises, you've got to put in the inner work and take action. Otherwise, it just becomes like any other self-help book, although it's written, you know, with love. It's a really unique book, but it has the workbook as well to back it up. And we've had some fabulous testimonials and feedback from business leaders. So they're endorsing it, and they're going to be on the back cover. So I think really trusted people in the industry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it being book launch time sometime towards the end of May. Everybody having their books and doing book signings and interviews and all the rest of it. And I hope I'm going to be able to persuade some of these wonderful people to, you know, perhaps put together a conference, whether it's a one-day virtual conference because of the logistics of where everybody is, or even get clients to come to an event and have one day per chapter. You know, this book I think has real legs and could go quite far, depending on the time and availability all these authors can invest in it.
That's amazing. I guess before we round up, something that I really wanted to ask was, because you built this rapport with each other and you built something that's obviously very powerful, it's creating great results for the world. Are you going to work together again? Are you going to maintain the relationship that you have to create something in the future?
I certainly hope so. And yeah, Don, just when you say there's some sort of conference or event, I think that would be the perfect thing as far as I'm concerned, to get us all in the same place over a couple of days event, to not just promote us as individuals, but to help bring even more value to business owners and new business owners out there, that they can get face to face with us and we can take even more time to break down everything that we know. And I think that would be something that I would love to do. I love working with people in person as well as online. So to get all of us in the one place, I think we have a lot between us to give other business owners. I think that would be a really great event to attend. It's something I would want to attend. So, but it would be great to work alongside everyone as well. Yeah.
Ali, I agree. I'm based in the US, but I'm overseas all the time. I'm in the UK once a year. Don, I think it's a great idea to put together some kind of a conference, whether it's virtual or in person. I think that would be great. And I would love working with everybody again, continuously.
I entirely agree, really, the idea of working together and developing what we've created. And I personally think that we have a part to play in developing the professional life coaching as a profession, so that becomes well known and really encouraging people. So yes, the idea of working together and developing ourselves further is really very attractive. Absolutely.
I think it'd be super, super exciting. And although we've never actually physically met, you know, in person as a group, actually I feel after reading all your chapters, I do feel that I know you, and I think we've got a really great understanding of where we all come from. And I almost feel like I have met you, if that makes sense, all of you. So it would be absolutely amazing to actually really get together. I'd love to get together as a group, physically get together, but that may not be possible, but I think it would be super exciting. Yeah.
Well, I have had a request from a client who's starting the process of thinking about what is it she wants to do, what sort of business does she want. She's in Finland, and I told her the essence of the book, and she said, well, if you do get together and put a conference on, I'm coming. So that compared with some of our early bird orders, I'm sure this will happen, especially Henry, lovely Henry, if you be our compere.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Okay. It's a date. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Henry, for your interest.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. And good luck to everybody, and stay connected, share the love, and spread the word.
Thanks, Dawn. Bye, everybody. It was good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.